What's up everybody, Tom here with another video. In today's video, we'll be discussing together our technical analysis levels for the S&P 500, Nasdaq, Bitcoin, gold, Tesla, AMC, and more. Yesterday was the rise of course, tech stocks again, and you can see by this massive ascending channel that there's a bit of room to go potentially for the Nasdaq. The question is, will July be the same as last year with green, or will Wall Street come in and start pushing it down? Stay tuned to find out more. Okay guys, well as we like to do on this channel, let's take a look at our summary of the markets for the 28th of June close 2021. And you'll see clearly it was a tale again of a few different markets here. And we mentioned the Nasdaq early, and that's because look at some of these stocks. I mean, Nvidia, it's almost an unstoppable force going into this split. Intel even started to awaken here. AMD was moving, Tesla was moving, and plenty of what we call hyper stocks were having a great day. When we go through all of the sectors, you can see clearly here that it was led by technology, communications, and even utilities was actually out in the lead. IBB, biotech. This probably doesn't tell the full story of how well some of the genetic reprogramming kind of stocks were going, but yeah, there was a huge move, and energy unfortunately was the laggard. If we have a look at the major indices, Nasdaq did 1.12%, S&P 500 was flat, and what this tells us is the breadth of the market. So even though the technology stocks, which are the hugest ones, did go up, we didn't see everything else go up. So it's actually not that healthy for the market overall. And then the Dow Jones and IWM Russell were both down on the day. So it was all about tech yesterday, and it makes sense. This is what happened in previous years, what happened last year as well. We saw a big tech increase. If you missed our weekend video, we discussed the fact that over the last decade, we have seen strong June, strong July, strong August historically. Now, somewhere in here, we do expect a blip. So probably somewhere near the end of this period, or maybe even the middle of it, there could be a blip in the market where Wall Street start to push it around and start to actually say, hey, whoa, too fast, too quick on this market, time for it to have a breather. We'll be looking at those technical analysis levels together throughout this video. Now let's have a look at the dollar index. So this is the 4-hour chart, the dollar index, and I'll go down to the 2-hour chart just to show some of the price action that's occurred at a very key point. So yesterday, we had a breakout on the 1 hour. The 2 hour didn't hold above, important. And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basically resistance points that were testing from a support level. Now, we didn't quite test that level correctly. We bought up long leg doji, so indecision. Then we had a bullish hammer. Then we had another little bullish hammer, small range candles. And then we've just recently closed to the bull side here on the dollar index. And this is boding well for US dollar plays. I mean, basically it looks fairly strong on the US dollar. If we go and have a look at the daily again, this looks pretty good. You can see how important this zone is. Indecision, indecision, bullish hammer, indecision. Will there be decision made? I mean, the story is starting to say very, very soon we should have a decision made. Now, why is this happening? And why could it possibly even sit around and do much? Not much. I think a lot of it's got to do with non-farm payrolls. So we have the jobs numbers coming out of the US this week, and there's a lot of things that are highly volatile in that event that are sitting there waiting for the news. You think about gold. Where is it? It's stuck between the 1760 and the 1800 zone. This range seems to be getting even smaller and smaller. I mean, you can see here at the time of this recording, we have 1772, this crazy little support here within the bigger range that's just kind of like just being purchased off with maybe some scalpers and day traders saying, I'm going to buy it up to the next range, etc., etc. There's not much action in silver and gold because this jobs number will matter. And we'll, of course, be live streaming it here on the channel. So make sure to subscribe and hit that alert button so you get the earliest alerts when that does occur. Now, we talked about US oil for a couple of weeks now. We talked about how it got close enough and that it was going to start its sideways action, or at least a little bit of a decline after its big run. To put it in perspective, we have to use a weekly chart just to show how aggressive this black gold US oil run has been. It's hitting that 74. We thought 75 was the best kind of case scenario, 75, 76. When you get that close and you start to see the signs of weakness, you've got to either be prepared to hold a little bit of a pullback, or you've got to basically start removing positions. And I think that's kind of what a lot of people are doing on Wall Street. We were talking about it heavily on the channel, and you can see even things that have traditionally been holding it up. Like this will be the first little 20, 50 cross in some time. You go to the 4 hour, See how critical this point is here for the support and the resistance of gold. You got black gold, US oil, resistance, support, support, support. This is a key zone, 50 exponential. Look how many times it's picked up off this level. It has to really find bullish momentum now if it is going to continue up to the 75, 76 level. Let's move over now to the stock market. Let's talk about AMC quickly to start off with. Still in the range, but good day yesterday. This is the 2-hour chart, and I'm looking for it to break past the 60. Then, of course, 63.22 is the next level people wanted to be looking at from the buy side. And if it breaches that zone, because we've been in a range channel, we take A, which is the distance between here and here. That becomes B, which is what you do with the normal channel, and your aim would be actually all-time highs on AMC. Now, again, it still states that if we go under 52.30 kind of area, what are we looking at? Unfortunately, shorting down to the 40 zone. So AMC still stuck. At this point, no extra information. We'll be looking for a 60-plus closure to show that the bulls are back in town. And yeah, we'll continue to watch this space. Let's move over to Tesla. So Tesla didn't fill the gap yesterday. So Tesla, I guess we found that it fills gaps probably around a coin flip of the time. You can see over here, the gap didn't fill. Over here, it did fill, etc., etc. Over here, it took a while to come back down and through. So the problem with Tesla is that you've got a 700 level. You've got previous massive trend line that goes through all of these previous lows all the way back to August last year. And that is hitting it at the $700. We know it's a key level. Now, if Tesla breaks and closes above 700, do we think the bulls are fully taking control of this market? Yeah, it looks like it. At that point, we're moving up to 750 resistance, 780 resistance, and 800 resistance, the three key levels we had last time. We also know that we've begun the recovery with the ability to break through our longer downward trend line between the lower peaks. That's important. So could it still roll over and come down and test this level? Anything's possible. 700 plus, does that start a really kind of big euphoria kind of movement on Tesla? You would think so. And that's because it just gets out of all of its problems that it's stuck between at this stage. So I think we've got it trapped relatively well. Obviously the gap fill, time will tell whether that end up occurring, and a 700 plus breakout will mean that gap's not filling anytime soon. Good luck out there for Tesla traders. We'll go and have a look at IWM. So we have a double or triple resistance plus the previous resistance at 234. This has been a relatively hard trade recently in terms of the Russell. It's been up, down, and all around, with a lot of small companies doing well and a lot of them not doing so well. So if you're taking the distance, let's say, of the breakout, I guess now you would be taking the full distance and you'd be saying this is a substantial breakout past the 234 if it does happen. I think I'm going to set some alerts here. We're going to talk about it on the live stream when it does occur. IWM's coming back into focus, but it really is, the Russell's all about breaching this zone. So we'll see how it does it. You know what would be cool if it kind of consolidated here and then breached out, and then you've kind of got your left head, right shoulder in the direction of the break. That'd be pretty sweet. We'll see whether that occurs. Let's move over here to the US 100. But firstly, I think we'll look at our QQQ ascending channel. So another incredible day here. Back to back to back to back for the Nasdaq. Nasdaq just keeps pushing higher. And you know what? It's still got legs in it to get to the top of our range. You can see here that if the Nasdaq continues to fire throughout the next couple of months, we've got basically another 3.8% movement that could occur. I do feel a little bit scared if it just goes on a parabolic run into this zone though. So let's say if it completes this in the next 2 to 3 weeks, what is that telling us? Well, every time the Nasdaq's gone on this parabolic run away from the 20 daily moving average, which we know it has to come back to, even over here where it went away from it pretty quickly and hit the top of the trend line, this usually leads to a pullback or correction. Now, if this does occur, the faster it gets there, the more likely it is that we're going to see a correction off this level, and we'll continue to watch it. But these are the two zones or lines that we've got in the charts. Another one that people will be looking at is these two tops here, and then looking for pullbacks through maybe non-farm payrolls or something. If the markets get turbulent, will there be buyers somewhere around this zone? I would say yes, based on this 4 hour. You can see 4 hour 50 purchasing, 4 hour 50 purchasing, 4 hour 50 purchasing. Let's say the market comes down sometime this week or non-farm payrolls and it hits the 4 hour 50, hits the top of the trend line. Will there be bull pressure there? Certainly likely. Now, if the bears take control and push it through here, then we've got a scenario where day traders will come in and start shorting it off, and we'll have to reassess the situation. But at this point, the market is going up, albeit really only the technology market is showing the most amount of strength. Let's move over to the US 500, the S&P 500. Community trend line still in place in terms of the top end side. You can see it did breach and make a new all-time high last week, which was pretty important. A little bit of weakness there yesterday while the tech sector was running. And you scroll on down and through and you can see it's, it's meandering up. I mean, it's a very slow melt up. 2 hour 20 exponential is the one that I'm looking at. And, it's hit it yesterday. We need to see a new all-time high now because you don't want to just hit it, barely make a new high, then hit it again. That's not the sign of a 2 steps forward, 1 step back, healthy market. We want like this. Ideally, you have a market that goes like this, pull back, like this, pull back, textbook. That's what we want. Textbook is good. It means healthy technical playouts. That barely a new peak. It's still fine, but we would prefer to probably see that thing dial in a new high over the next 24 hours. We'll see what happens, and we'll keep following the channel and keep following, of course, as much as we can with all of those. Conversely to that as well, the Dow looks very, very similar to the S&P 500. Let's move over now to Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is, well, it's at the resistance. 35,500. We know it's a resistance. We know we have a long leg doji there on the daily. Here's the long leg doji, indecision at the peak. We have a little bit of bullish pressure coming through. A few other coins have been going as well. Things like Ethereum have actually broken out past the 2050. So Bitcoin is actually lagging the rest. And once it breaches and if it closes above this level, we've got to think that the low is in for now and the market will start to move towards 38,000, 40,000 and possibly even 42,000. They're probably the key levels that I think many people are looking at. As always, we want to be watching BTC shorts as much as we can because this shows us the whales and where they're doing. And when the whales were repurposing themselves, so basically they put in a huge amount of shorts, we saw the adverse reaction to the markets. So one of the ways that we can look at the whales and what they're doing is, of course, looking at these BTC shorts. And you can see the percentage shorts here and when they're increasing. And if we actually scroll up, what you'll notice is that when the shorts are increasing, the price is obviously decreasing. It makes sense that that's the manipulation going on in the markets. They've fully unraveled all those shorts very, very quickly, and now percentage longs have really increased back up to their normal healthy levels. So the question is, will Bitcoin run through? Datamish.com, pretty good website if you want to check it out. And as always, there's plenty of good free stuff. So make sure you share any free ideas with our community on Discord. Guys, if you want to, join the Discord down below. And I'll just remind everybody, I know in America it's not the end of financial year, but it is in Australia and other countries. So we are running a sale. There's links in the description. If you're interested in our course, come and check it out. And of course, we hope to see you in another video and see you live in our sessions tonight, or this morning, or the afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We'll obviously be doing Tuesday market open 1.5 hours early before the New York Open. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can tell you there's going to be fireworks moving forward over the next couple of weeks. You've got to be watching the markets, especially in July. Catch you soon. Bye for now.